So, got the plenum off, got the covers off, took the fuel rail off, we got the spark plugs removed and put some mixing oil down in the cylinders. Got everything soaking in WD-40. I think I'm ready to go ahead and turn this engine over. I feel like it should spin freely enough and we don't gotta worry about damaging much of anything. So my favorite method is using a 3/8 extension down the number 1 spark plug tube and use a 27 millimeter. You can either use a wrench or a socket wrench. Go ahead and turn the engine over until you see the extensions start to pop up out of there. Now, more importantly, you're going to want to look at your timing marks here on the camshaft sprockets, and they're going to get to just about where these dots are located on the backing plate for the timing cover. Now, these dots aren't exact. These plates can shift around a little bit, you know, in their bolt holes and everything, so they're not entirely accurate. So just use them as a quick reference just to get you in about the right area. Most importantly, what you want is for your dots to all be lined up on your timing belt to your cam sprockets when going back together. For now, disassembly, just get it right about the general area. Now, when your timing marks are all up, that will indicate to you that you are on the compression stroke. You don't want to do this when you're at the top of the exhaust stroke, because that'll actually put your camshafts 180 degrees out from where they're supposed to be. You'll have to spin the engine over 360 degrees in order to get your camshafts to rotate 180 degrees. So let's go ahead and start doing that nice and slowly now. A little bit of resistance right at first, but then it gave. That's the belt making some weird noise. I don't see my timing marks yet, so we are currently on the exhaust stroke. I'll have to go ahead and crank her over one more time. All right, now we're coming up on top dead center here. I got my extension coming up. My timing marks are coming up to line up. And we'll see that this engine is actually out of time. Oh no. No, it's in time. We're good. Nice. Another thing you'll notice is that the keyway on the crankshaft will always point in the direction of your number 1 cylinder. Extensions all the way up. We're ready to go. Our next job is to thread a 10 millimeter bolt into the auto tensioner. You'll see there's a threaded hole here off to the side. It's just pretty much the longest size bolt that you can fit in there is really all you need. It shouldn't be very, very long, about 1 inch. Go ahead and thread that in until it just meets up against the auto tensioner, right when the bolt stops by hand, and take a wrench and give it another quarter turn just to kind of snug it up a little bit. So once you have done that, what you'll do is unbolt the tensioner itself. And there's 3 bolts. You got this guy right here, this guy, sorry, 2 bolts, 1 nut, and that last nut right there. So this bolt right up against the water pump. So the lowermost bolt here on it's actually the right side of the engine. And then over here in the middle, next to the water pump. And then right below it, that nut right there. Engine smells like it got hot. It doesn't smell like burning oil. It's a different smell when the, I'm not sure if it's the coolant that gets too hot or if it's the oil. I think it's the oil that gets too hot, but it's got a very pungent smell that it's like burnt mineral spirits. Oh, we're loose. Look at that, we're loose. Unbolt that as well. So the tensioner just kind of fell over there, pivoted on the stud. That's exactly what you want to see right there. Next, you can go ahead and remove the belt. These camshafts might snap on you when you remove it. Just be aware of that. But anyways, it's fine to let them relax. I'll go ahead and advance this camshaft until it relaxes, and I'll advance this camshaft until it relaxes. That's it, we're good. This released all the valves. None of the valves are being pushed down anymore. This side over here should be relaxed for the most part, but again, don't be afraid if they snap on you. No, yeah, see, we're relaxed. Flat washer there. That goes down on the lowermost mounting point. I don't know nothing about this tensioner. It was very, very rusty when I found it. So I'm probably gonna throw it away. I think it's best if I throw it away. There we go. We got timing belt removed, camshafts relaxed. Up next, we'll go ahead and, actually at this point, what I wanna do is start removing the power steering pump, get this out of the way. Shouldn't really be there. Same thing with the exhaust manifolds. We gotta get those removed and get them out of here, because I'm going right for pulling the cylinder heads off. So we'll go ahead and take care of that right quick. Okay. So I removed the power steering pump with both of the brackets attached to it. I just don't want to lose any of this stuff. I'd rather keep it together. Makes it easier during the reassembly process. I will take it apart before reassembling though. Up next we got the exhaust manifolds, and I'm ready to get them off of there as quickly as possible. So, nuts, washers, and studs, all very important hardware for the exhaust. Really don't want to use bolts, they rattle loose, they suck. Alright, there we go, let's have a look here. Ugh. Could have reused that, dang it. Yeah, there we go. Got one header here. Primaries don't really line up too good. And they're pretty thin, so that's easy signature that they're eBay headers. You know, these were pretty commonplace back in the day, but I guess not so much anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these up a little bit, and I'll wrap them in header wrap. Alright, headers are off. My next move, I gotta get these sprockets off, that way I can get backing plates removed from the cylinder heads. Once that's complete, we'll go ahead and do our camshaft removals. These camshafts have to be removed in a particular sequence, otherwise you can snap them even when they're in this relaxed position here, because there is still some pressure coming up from those valves, valve springs. One more application of coil. What I'm going to go ahead and do first is I'm going to remove the crank angle sensor. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to remove the bracket and pull the whole thing off. Very light wiggle. And comes right on out. You got yourself an O-ring on the back of this cast drive right here. And you also have a locator pin. Make sure to inspect your locator pin on the camshaft itself. You'll see it poking out. If your locator pin isn't there, or if it's damaged, you can have some issues with drivability because this crank angle sensor won't be reading right. Also, a good idea is to keep them well lubricated. This one's got some white lithium in there. Pretty good idea, not bad. I might have used Valvoline red grease, something that'll kind of last. You want to use a grease, you don't want to use like WD-40, it's not going to last. But when the engine heats up, it'll bake off. So, crank angle sensor, we'll put that in a nice safe spot. But with that removed, you can see that the exhaust camshaft is retained in the same way that the right side is on here on the left side. So we'll soak those bolts. There's a hex on the camshaft that I'm grabbing onto with these channel locks. You can use a wrench. I just don't have the big enough wrench here, so that's what I'm using. Oops. Okay. Pull this sprocket off. All right. Now, exhaust camshafts, as you can see, were pretty easy. You just had the 4 bolts that you had to remove while holding the camshaft in place with a suitable tool. Next, however, for the variable valve timing sprockets, there's a little bit of a trick to doing this, especially because these covers like to get stuck on there, and they're loaded with a spring behind it. So when you go to remove these, don't just remove the bolts and try to remove the cover after. What you're gonna end up doing is you're gonna back these bolts out pretty much one by one, thread them back in just a couple of turns. That way, when it does spring open, it backs right up against the bolt, and that's it. It doesn't, you don't have everything going flying everywhere. Then you'll be able to thread the bolts out the rest of the way and remove everything else by hand. This one's already coming apart. Nice. Okay. Well, so in the event that yours doesn't come apart, what you're going to do is you're going to lightly ramp on it, very lightly, and support it with your hand on the back side. Give it a few taps and it should come free. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to grip on the back side of the timing plate and push on that cover with your thumb and just thread them out the rest of the way. There's your spring, and this is your seal, and that's it. Now you have access to your center bolt. There you have it, same process, except this time it's just a single bolt. Thanks. All right. Now in the event that you're reusing your sprockets, this is what you're gonna do to keep everything together, right? Okay. Now, I got access to all the backing plates, well, both the backing plates, and I can go ahead and get them off of there. But we'll start with our idler. See, yeah, that's no good. Important to note that the left side backing plate has an indentation, whereas the right side backing plate just covers it. So you're going to remove the right side first and then the left side. When going back together, you're going to install the left side first, then install your right side. And you'll notice that the backing plate covers are held on with a nut that doesn't have, or a bolt that doesn't have a washer. Go. Nice and dirty. Behind the backing plate, we got a better view of the ends of our camshaft. These are your cam seals. You're going to want to put new ones in. Whenever you do a timing belt job, you really want to do these cam seals. This is what keeps you from getting leaks all over the place. Matter of fact, these, you'll see they won't seal up against the camshaft themselves. These are going to seal against the sprockets, whereas the exhaust camshaft, you'll see the seals are riding right up against the camshaft itself. This bolt is extremely important. I cannot stress it enough. Do not lose this bolt right here, because you'll want it to put the cover back on. So you're not running covers. All right, take those guys off. I'm sick of looking at them. Okay, good. Save those guys, and we'll go ahead and unbolt these water outlets. Like I said, it's on the outside, it's on the inside. That guy was finger loose, I guess. Got an idler here. Don't want to use it. Missing the washer. Junk. Next, what we'll do is we'll pop that water pump off of there, drain any remaining coolant out of the block, which I don't seem to see any. But then that'll give us an idea of what the rest of the cooling system inside the in that iron looks like. And should be looking pretty good. Some of this stuff looks very clean. Not bad. Not bad at all. Looks like there wasn't really any water in there. Doesn't look rusty. Fantastic. I have a pretty decent engine here. Well, I went ahead and removed the heater pipe out from the back of the engine. It sits on there just like that, with the bolts facing, well, bolting in towards the front of the engine. A couple of 10mm bolts, just like the other side. Get that one off so you can pull the intake, the lower intake up off of this stud back here. It's a 6mm, also 12mm nuts. Do not lose these washers, you need them. Now, an important note about Allen keys, that they get loaded up with crud all the time. So a good thing to do is get that thing in there, roll it around some. You know, if you got one that's really dirty, get it rolled around in there really good, put a bunch of pressure down on it, even tap it with a hammer down so it actually fully seats in there and gets a good grip on those hex points. If you don't do that, that's how they end up slipping and getting ruined. Then you're in real trouble. Well, get those guys out of there. I'll use the butt end of the hammer here. Nice. All right, cool. Easy. Very, very easy. Oh boy. I don't know what happened here. I don't know how that happened. Well, anyways, here's the intake manifold. That gives you a good idea what we're dealing with, how it looks underneath. You got coolant crossover here and here. Now, jeez Louise, you gotta have a good seal here. And that's not what I'm seeing. And we'll have a look at our intake manifold gaskets where they made up against the cylinder heads. They're falling apart right here. Dang, man. Now that right there, yeah, you're getting all sorts of air past that, and there's no way they're sealing. There's just no way. One more look. First and most important step before removing the cylinder heads, we got to come back here and get that guy off. Do not forget to get that guy off right there. You'll have a real bad time. Oh, don't forget that guy. Now, our service manual states that the cylinder head bolts need to be loosened in 2 or 3 steps. Highly recommend doing it in 3 stages. That will relieve the torque and even manner and prevent warpage across the cylinder head. So what we're gonna do is loosen this in the opposite sequence. Now I'm only gonna get a quarter turn out of it, and that's it. From there, move on to the next one. And again, make sure you're working that Allen key down in there really good. It's a 10mm Allen. Okay, and head bolt. Let's see what we got here. How's it look? Is it good? Is it junk? Not bad. I got fucking shit all over the floor. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Gonna need rings. Oh, they're not flat top. Dome top pistons. Even better, man. Cool. Well, head gasket. Composite head gasket, which is probably what I'm going to be using. These are not very strong for holding up against boost, but naturally aspirated shouldn't be a problem. Matter of fact, we can get better sealing naturally aspirated, especially if we combine this with some copper RTD spray. I mean, not terrible, you know. It's gotten a little rusty from water sitting in them. It's all right. That will still make this for a good naturally aspirated drift car engine. I probably won't ever put boost into this. I don't like the idea of opening those bores up too much on these things, unless it's gonna get cut and sleeved, which that's pretty expensive. So anyways, yeah, that's where we're at with this thing. Got dome top pistons for the naturally aspirated. You won't find those in a twin turbo model. That's how they change the compression. You'll actually find they should be dish top pistons. Not bad. We'll go ahead and remove the other side. And we are down to the short lock. Gotta go ahead and pull the pan off of this thing next time, I think. We'll get this stripped down. But I think this is as far as I want to go with it today. Like I said, you can see there's some pitting going on, but it's really not all that bad. I think we're gonna be able to hone all that out. Yeah, man, that'll be a nice little engine. I got the cylinder heads over here, and I think what I'm gonna do is bring those with me to work and disassemble them and put them in the parts washer. I'll toss them off to the side.